was really sick with chronic fatigue syndrome in my 20s, and I started reaching out to my old friends because I felt so lonely, and reached out to one buddy who was one of my closest friends in my teenage years, and he wrote back that he was dreading hearing from me, that he regarded me as this arrogant turd who would always argue, and I was always completely sure that he was right, even if he had nothing to back up his arguments. And it's like, whoa, this is one of my closest friends, I thought. He didn't want to hear from me. And a few months ago, I reached out to a guy who was my best friend in sixth grade, just wanted to reconnect. And didn't hear back from him. Like, I called and left him a message, and I emailed him, and that was it. So I'm thinking about that movie Stand By Me, okay, above average film, but right at the end there's this comment that just smites you like right in the heart. It's like, it was, Jesus, I've never again had as close friends as I had at age 12 as anybody. So I'm thinking about that. And yeah, friends were most important between, I don't know, age 6 and age about 28. The years I remember most clearly, I think, are my high school years, ages 14 to 18. But anyway, I was just watching a podcast between my ex, Holly Randall, and my old friend Kevin Blatt, the celebrity sex tape broker. And they spent a few minutes discussing Luke Ford. And I'm watching this, and it's kind of weird seeing this discussion because we used to be so close. Like we used to, like, there were no secrets. Like we really knew each other well, both with Kevin and with Holly. And now we've gone completely separate lives. The last 12 years I had, very minimal contact. And like thinking about old friends or just running into old friends, what's the name of that very keen emotional pain? It's like you remember how close you were. And okay, so do we ever again have as friends as close as we did at age 12 or in our teenage years? And I think we can if we share trauma. So for example, Kevin, Holly, and I, we went through a lot of traumatic experiences. So that's what created much of the bond, I think. So if you, don't recommend it, but if you share traumatic events with people, even in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s, that can create a bond that's every bit as close as what you had when you were 12 years of age. So I find that in 12-step programs, you've escaped this deadly disease, this deadly syndrome, this deadly destructive compulsive habit that you both share, and you've escaped it together. So that tends to create very close bonds. I was watching this Holly and Kevin podcast, and they're both so authentic. Like there's no artifice there. They were just like speaking like right from the heart. It's like very effective communication. It's like that's what just like pulled me right back to all the Sturm and Drang and the drama that we went through together. And it's like if you share, if you survive a shipwreck or a plane crash. Okay, I had a former boss, Doug Hanslick, who survived a plane crash. So I imagine if you survive a plane crash, that can really create bonds. And so in a way, Kevin and Holly and I, survived various plane crashes together, and sharing that trauma and surviving and emerging out the other side. Both Holly and I are big 12-steppers. So we share that experience of that kind of life and death, traumatic experience, surviving and thriving. It's weird. Like, how do you feel about old friends? Like when you recall how close you were, then it's only natural as you move on. You move in different directions. You have different priorities. You have different commitments that you're not going to be as close as you once were. So what are the best words to describe that pain? I guess I'm someone who has a lot of nostalgia, or I'm a romantic who always sees more to reality than is really there. what are the best words to describe that pain of recalling old friendships?